Good day, good day, my powerhouse maverick women. How are you? Yes, I'm Bernadette Bose, and we are going to be talking about getting on the court today. Now, what does getting on the court really mean? Well, I'm a pickleball player. And if you don't know what pickleball is, go and Google it. It's awesome. I started learning it, I want to say it was like 3 years ago next week, actually. My sister introduced myself and my four other sisters at our yearly beach trip. And I thought, I was itching to kind of get back into the kind of athletic competitive game. I was cycling for quite a while, but kind of put the bike aside. And I was just itching to get myself moving beyond the running and the stair climber and going to the gym and whatnot. Anyway, so I recognized the pretty much the moment I started playing it that I was going to become obsessed with it. Obsessed to the point where not only was I doing it and playing 7 days a week, but I immediately wanted to get into competitive play, not only what they call rec play, where it's competitive just amongst your friends and whatnot, but actually tournaments. So what does this have to do with getting on the court? Well, I've realized in my desire to really practice and hone my skill around pickleball, I knew that I would have to drill and practice and almost, work toward becoming a master, therefore, in order to get on the court. And so very much like what we need to do in business, there's things that we need to be doing and that you need to be doing if you are looking to become that powerhouse, business owner maverick who is breaking through the ceiling from 5 to 6 figures or 6 figures to 7 figures. Jim Rohn has a really popular quote that I absolutely love, and I keep in mind when I'm even struggling with what is it that I need to do to up level, to up my game, so to speak. And he says, if you want more, you must become more. And it's true. If I wanted to become a tournament level competitive player, then there were certain things I needed to do in order to get on the court. And so you can relate that very easily to what it is that you need to do in order to get on the court of building the business that you want, achieving the goals that you have for yourself. So translate, what getting on the court means to you, but I want to talk through some steps and some areas of focus that you should have each and every day within your business if you really, are wanting to build that business, achieve those goals, reach that level of revenue, profit, number of clients, visibility, personal brand, business brand, whatever it is that you're aiming toward. There's some things you should be working on and focusing on each and every day. And that's what I want to talk about today. So the first thing, very similar to when I started playing pickleball, very similar to the workplace, your business, is really understanding what is it that you need, self-assessing yourself as to where are you, where do you want to go, and what is it going to take to get there, but what is it that you specifically are going to need to do, to have, to invest in, to act on, you name it. What are all those things that you're going to need in order to get you to that next core goal, or it may be even a milestone toward your bigger goal? So, I would suggest just taking your time to do almost like an inventory of your skills and your talents and your expertise and your experiences and all those things that you can lean on. But when it comes to your specific business, your ideal client, the marketplace, the products and services or programs and offers that you have that you're delivering, really looking at that, saying, all right, so what am I going to need within my business and within myself in order to deliver on and achieve all of those various things within my inventory of need. And you understanding where you are now and where you're going on a daily basis will really help you also hone in on what are the priorities, what are the things that you really need to be focusing on now, as opposed to even next week, let alone 6 months from now, next year, or 3 years from now. I find too often that, let's just say, new business owners, and I'll use new business owners in the vein of someone who's been in business minimum of 3 years. But yet this can apply if they're in business for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and they're still not where they want to be. They still haven't either broken through that 5 to 6 or 6 to 7, but they're not where they want to be in their business and with the goals and the dreams they have for themselves. And so what I'll find is that if their inventory, makes up kind of the laundry list of the ideal clients that they're going after, the products and services and offers that they have, the marketing and messaging efforts that they're putting out there, the social media platforms that they're contributing to, the means of, maybe that they're blogging, podcasting, speaking, writing a book, you name it. If they look at all of that and then really say to themselves, what do I need right now in order to achieve those, the immediate goals that I have for myself, you probably could eliminate about 90% from that list of the things that really you don't need to be focused on right now. You don't need to be doing, you don't need to be acting on. So let me break it down a little bit. Well, first off, I want you to keep in mind, because I've spoken about it before, the Pareto rule. And basically it says that 80% of your outcomes is going to come from just 20% of your actions. 80% of your outcomes is going to come from 20% of your actions. So if you all of a sudden are looking at this laundry list, this inventory that you've taken, and maybe it's eventually turned into your to-do list, and you really say, all right, my goal is to earn $10,000 this month. And, then you say to yourself, okay, so what is it that I need to be doing? And what is it that I need to be putting into place? And what is it that I need as far as resources and support in order to earn that $10,000 in revenue? Well, you probably will find that about 80 to 90% of that laundry list that you have is not needed right now. It's just not needed. So you're going to get down to the fact that, okay, so over the next 30 days for the month that I want to achieve $10,000, the 20% is probably going to be where I need to be spending a certain amount of time each and every day on pure sales generation activities. And I need to be working on sales activities that go from, getting connections and leads all the way to servicing those leads, to converting those leads, and then closing those leads, onboarding those leads, and, and maybe even delivering on your product or service. So all of that just, in itself is time consuming. And when you think about, okay, so 30, there's a 30-day month average, 5 of which per week is so-called business. So that's 20 days that you have to accomplish everything that you want in order to achieve that $10,000. Now, granted, many business owners work 7 days a week, but let's say you're really focused on wanting to only work the Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, average work week. So you have to get really, really clear and really, really laser focused on ensuring that, where you're spending your time is going to do that conversion into that $10,000. And what often happens is this. So that laundry list includes someone even in business for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, but say they're still hitting that ceiling going into 6 figures, even from 6 figures to 7. And keeping in mind that 90% of business owners earn less than $100,000. So there's a good chance I'm talking to a good majority of you that are still working to break through that ceiling from 5 figures to 6. And that's perfectly okay. That's perfectly okay. But if you're out there trying to trying to deliver on, basically what your core product or service or offer is, but you're also trying to write a book, starting a podcast or doing a podcast, blogging. Maybe you're contributing to other, articles. Maybe you're, scheduling appearances to be on radio. Maybe you're going after speaking. All of that may be holding you back. You're thinking, well, that's going to put me out there. That's going to make me visible, and that's going to give me exposure. And yet at the same time, because you only have those 20 days to get the work that needs to get done in order to generate the $10,000 that you set out to achieve, then you need to start getting very, very, very laser focused and a really good decision maker in order to say, you know what? I'm still on that, trajectory to even break through into the six figures. I don't need to start my podcast right now. I don't need to write a book right now. I don't need to be, speaking right now. I need to master delivering on the one or two offers, programs, products, services that I have, and really getting laser focused on who it is that I'm serving and what it is that I'm serving them and how I'm going to deliver that service to them, even if it is a product. So I often see that business owners, they kind of want to do everything, and yet they wonder why they're still hitting that wall and they haven't broken through to the next level. So initially, what I want you to be doing is simply, you have your goal, whatever that might be. And we use the scenario of you want to be achieving $10,000 a month. And then you do an inventory of your needs in order to achieve that. So what do you need, across the board? And then you're saying to yourself, okay, so of all of this need, what is absolutely mandatory and critical and must have right now in order for me over the next 20 work days, 30 calendar days to achieve my goal? And very much like the Pareto rule saying 80% of your income, 80% of your outcome is going to come from 20% of your actions, you're probably going to be able to eliminate a good amount of what's on that inventory list. All right. So if you're sitting here, right now, frustrated or just overwhelmed or just unsure of what it is you need to be doing, first take an assessment. Just do a fast assessment of what is your goal and what is it that you need in order to achieve that goal. And then look at it to say, okay, so of all of that need, what can I actually accomplish that's going to have very high value and great impact on me achieving my $10,000 goal, and eliminate everything else. Be okay with doing that next month or next year even. All right. And again, keep in mind, I see this in individuals that have been in business for 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 years. They're still frustrated breaking through to the next level, and they're frustrated as to why that is. And it's because they're trying to do too much and exhausting themselves and overwhelming themselves. So if that's you, then just first do this assessment. All right. Now, the next one is a great extension to that assessment. And that is, and I fell totally, guilty and victim to this. And that is, I was trying to offer so many things to my clients to where it just got very confusing for them. And remember, confused minds don't buy. So if you're a prospect or even your current client or customer is confused by what it is that you're offering and what they could be doing and buying from you next, or next after that, so forth and so on, then they're most likely, because rarely do they raise their hand going, Bernadette, I'm confused. I'm not exactly sure what it is that I should be doing next, or what it is that you're offering me next. So the easiest way for you right now to get on the court and be successful in achieving your goals is to just shrink those number of product, service offers and programs down and into very few, even just 2. But, we love things that come in 3. So if it's 3, it's 3. But if you're all of a sudden looking at your list of products and service programs and offers, and you're all of a sudden seeing that you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, programs and offers, you might want to even ask your customers that you currently have, how do they feel about that? How do they, respond when they see all of these offerings on your website or on your Facebook page, whatever the case might be? I'll never forget, I was really working hard to get this one corporate client, and I kept sending them to my website. And this was about 5 years ago. And I sent them to my website. And on my website, I had my speaking, my podcasting, I had my coaching and consulting. And then within those tabs, especially the consulting and coaching, I probably had 3 or 4, if not 5, different variations of coaching opportunities, which included training and workshops as well, and then consulting programs or offerings. And I'm on the call with the head VP of HR at the time. And he just was like, Bernadette, I just have to tell you, I have no clue as to what it is that you can offer our company. There's just so much here. Could you just give me an idea of 1 or 2 of those things out of all of that? And he even went on to say and coached me on the fact that, and then, the fact that you're showing your podcast and you're showing your, I had a radio show, podcast, and the TV show, and I had them on separate tabs. And I was using them along with my book, using them thinking, well, that's going to give me credibility. That's going to, show kind of the fact that, yes, I've been there, done that, and I'm an expert in this field. And all I was doing to the poor guy, and probably a lot of other people, was just overwhelming and confusing them. So he, I didn't expect this at all from a prospect, but here is this very large conglomerate of a organization, VP of HR, and he was offering me all this great coaching about the fact that, you might just want to, go into accounts, giving 1 or 2 of your programs and offers and letting them select from there. And if they decide to tailor them or tweak them or, extend them, leave it up to your customer, as opposed to, showing me a whole laundry list of these products and services and all the variations thereof. So confused minds don't buy. So look at your, look at your list of your products and services, your programs, your offers, however you want to, package them up, which if you tune in next week, we're going to be talking about stacking it and how you can get more revenue by stacking. And so you'll understand why I'm differentiating between products, services, programs, and offers. And we'll go into that next week. But for now, just look at your laundry list of products and services and really kind of say, what is the number 1, 2, or 3? What are the top 3 that my client is going to resonate with, is going to relate to, is going to kind of be triggered, into wanting more information or even to buy, because, they're very focused, and they're very focused on the pains and the challenges and the issues and the opportunities that your customer has, not trying to satisfy every single one of them, but trying to satisfy the core ones that will, get a response from your customers to where they want to learn more or they want to buy, plain and simply. So focus on getting your offers down to 2, if not 3 core ones, because then you also have the opportunity to really invest your time, money, and resources to focusing on just those programs and offers. And you don't have to feel as if, you're either overwhelming your customer, excuse me. And what I mean by that even is, do you do a newsletter or an email? And do you happen to, send maybe weekly, if not daily or every other day, emails to your list, and you're including all these different types of products and service offerings that you have, and yet at the same time they're probably looking at it going, okay, I don't know where to start. Which one is best for me? Confused minds don't buy. So try to keep it very small. because there's nothing to say that once you get them into one of those top 3 core offers that you aren't able to say, oh, well, you know what? I have this ebook over here. If you're interested in that, you're not really publicizing it. You're not really messaging. You're not spending time, money, and resources on it, but they might, come across it on your website or come across it on a Facebook page. And, they're like, oh, wow, I've loved what I've already received. So maybe I'll try this product as well. All right. So keep it focused if you want to get on the court and be very successful in generating revenue and achieving those goals that you set for yourself. This leads to the next point around quality over quantity. What I often find, and again, I've been guilty of this in the past, but what I've often find from my clients is I'll look at, because whether I'm onboarding them or I've already been working with them, I'm constantly, kind of researching them. I'm wanting to keep up with and understand what is it that they do, what is it that they, offer, who are they serving, how is their business overall. And what I'll find is they have this kind of laundry list of products, programs, and offers. It could be digital, it could be tangible, it could be a service. And yet they're proud that they have all these offers, while at the same time, the quality is not to their full potential, not to their full potential. And so if you ever kind of question to yourself, why, you might say to yourself, why are people not attracted to, this great program that, you totally believe in, it's of great value, it's great content, it transforms lives. And yet people aren't buying into it. Well, you might want to look at the quality of the messaging, the quality of the delivery, the quality of the actual deliverable, the quality of the onboarding of the service. If it is a tangible product, it might be the quality of the delivery from start to finish, whether that's packaging or shipping on time or fulfillment, whatever the case might be. So if you are looking to break through to that next level, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, quality is going to be key. Now, this was raised up to me probably about 1.5 years ago when it came to even my working with, because for a long time, all I worked with was 7-figure companies, 7 figures to 8, 9, 10, 11. And only because when I heard that statistic that 90% of business owners make under $100,000, and I was like, what? Is when I really said, I need to see what I can do, leveraging all my expertise and my background and my experience to help those people who are wanting breakthrough from 5 to 6, 6 and 7. So, but when I was at that, working at that 7-figure level, when I started consulting and coaching on my own, I had the most beautiful materials. I spent like $25,000 when I went out on my own in 2008, spent like all this money on these beautiful materials. And my business was called the Bose Group at the time. And I was servicing corporate and small businesses. And I would say that all of those things, my beautiful website, my beautiful presentation, opened up many, many, many doors for me. And then I took that same business, but I had then found that my real brand was Ball of Fire. And I also didn't want to be that very formal, polished corporate representative anymore. I wanted to be more for the entrepreneurial, businesswoman. And so I changed up all my branding. And I got a comment, actually several, but I fortunately had some very upfront and honest clients / peers, and they commented to me, that you didn't put all your focus and your energy into the quality of your deliverables and your collateral and your materials and your presentation under Ball of Fire. And this was back in 2010 and 11, as you did initially with the Bose Group. What's up? What's that about? And I kind of related quality and formal and polished to corporate. And I was trying to move away from that for many, many reasons, but I was trying to move away from that at the time. And I thought, oh, okay, well, diminishing quality would be more relatable to, to what I was doing at the time. And unfortunately, these very upfront, honest women in a mastermind back in 2011, 2010 was like, yeah, no, get back to that quality, even though it's a whole different brand, even though it's a whole different you. So my point being there is everything that you do, from showing up here, from your products and services, from your presentation online, whether it's your website, whether it's your LinkedIn profile, whether it's your pieces of collateral, invest in time, resources, and money to just ensure that you're focused on quality versus focusing on, you need to get more content, more products, more services, more out there. Ensure that what you do have already is of the best quality. All right. Okay. Quality over quantity. Now, the next one would be kind of touching on that is activate what you already have. And this goes in, in many, many, many directions. One, it goes on to what we were just talking about. As opposed to adding to your laundry list of what you need to get done, as opposed to adding on to kind of the strategies you're trying to implement that you're not even ready to implement yet. Because remember, like I said, if you're, in business for 1, 3, 5, 7 years, and you're still working to break through to the 6-figure level versus let alone the 7-figure, there's probably a lot of strategies you're working on, like a podcast, a blog, a radio show. Well, I'm sorry, that's a podcast, a book, speaking, a number of things that you're not even ready for. Yes. Will they give you great visibility? Will they give you great branding? Will they, build your influence and credibility? Yeah. Yes, and yes. But at the same time, when you're at what I would call a beginning stage of your revenue, not necessarily being in business, you could be in business a dozen years and you're still, trying to break through to that 6-figure, 7-figure level. Well, then what you should be focused on and activating is simply your sales activity, is simply everything around you becoming a sales master. And we'll talk about this next week as well, but a sales master, as well as just everything around generating leads, converting those leads, and closing and delivering to those leads. That is what you want to ensure that you're getting on the court plan should be focused on just those strategies, which are going to ensure you are selling, learning to love sales, and learning to love rejection, and learning to activate the network you already have. What does that mean? So when I left corporate, I couldn't believe I left corporate in 2008, 25 years. And I just took it for granted that I had this very large global network. Yet, granted, LinkedIn really wasn't around at the time, a little bit, but not much. But my actual physical, whatever you want to call it, Rolodex was so small because I really wasn't capturing the connections, the contacts, the partners, the peers, the colleagues that I had been engaging with for 25 years. And so when I did go out on my own in 2008, 2009, and I went to activate my network, boy, did I have trouble because I knew all of these people and yet I could no longer find them. And since I wasn't part of the company anymore and there wasn't social media like there is today, I totally lost all connections with them. However, what I learned very quickly though, was even and I think I had like 350, 400 connections in my actual, Rolodex in my phone, which actually wasn't even in my phone because the phones at the time were, pretty much flip. But what I also found though, is my first 12 to 15 months, six-figure new business was all from my current network. It was all from the people that I had known forever and a day, that I'd known from predominantly corporate, that I then started kind of activating my new network from an entrepreneurial perspective when I went out on my own in 2008. But by 2010, 2011, when I was, generating six figures, it was all from purely the people that I either knew or I just met. It wasn't people that I still needed to go out and meet. And I needed to generate, new faces, new names, new contacts. And I would say 90% of that, 100% was the people that I had known for years. And now I was going back, sharing what I was doing and seeing if they had any needs or opportunities that would leverage my services at the time. So activating what you already have goes from everything from activating the goals that you currently have with just the activities and the strategies that are needed to achieve that goal. And then ensuring that, as opposed to spending time generating new, ensure that you've already kind of checked off and reached out and used and abused and exploited the network that you already have in LinkedIn, in Facebook, in your email. I went back to my an old email file that I had. And this was, I want to say this was about 2010, 2011. I happened to convert all of my email systems. And so I had forgotten about that original email system. I even forget what it was, but email system. But I knew that there was a big list of email connections in that list. And so here I was, I forget what getting on the court strategy I was working on. And I said, gosh, I know I have a much larger database of business cards that I had put into a system at the time, the CRM system. That's what I was looking for. So all of a sudden I did find it. And there was probably about 125, 130 names on that list. And I thought, wow, I haven't reached out to these guys in a good number of years. Let me just give it a shot. So I started first with like emails, and then I started with emails, and at this time now LinkedIn is coming in, LinkedIn, and then I started placing phone calls. And the next thing you know, that was also where a good amount of the six figures came from, was just the people that I'd known forever, that I took for granted that, well, you know what, I left corporate on a not so great note. And would they even want to talk with me or relate with me or connect with me? And they were like, yeah, I would love to know what you're doing and see how I can help. So activate what you already have. Stop, don't spin your wheels just yet, trying to find new. Go back into your email, into your Facebook, into your LinkedIn, into your CRM systems. Take a look at connections that you might have just kind of put aside, or those email lists that you've gotten, but you thought, oh, they never responded initially, so why would they respond now? And just say, you know what, I'm reintroducing myself and I'm reconnecting with you. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised what that can do to moving you closer to the goal that you've laid out for yourself, is by activating everything that you have. Also, what's included in activating everything that you have is just what you have, who you are. I call it honor your riches. Many of us really don't sit down and consider what we have. We spend a lot of time considering what we don't have, what we're lacking, but we don't consider what we have. And this was another inventory I did, or self-assessment that I did of myself, many years ago. And I really kind of said and this was before I was speaking and doing my podcast and TV show and all of this. And I started looking at, what have I loved since I was a little kid? What have, people said I was good at? What have I thought I was good at? What I loved doing, whether it was a hobby, a passion, just a skill or technique I picked up at school or, in the community. And all of a sudden I just thought to myself, oh my gosh, yeah, I used to love, with my mother, since we have 12 kids, my mother would throw us all in her musical plays, because that was a good way for her to babysit us while she was always in these musicals for church, for our church. And so she would put us in the musicals. And I loved it. And I really didn't, I probably went 30 years without even thinking back at, those times when I was like 12, 13, whatever. And it was myself and a number of my brothers and sisters in these musicals with my mother. Now I have no singing voice, even though I might have a speaking voice, I'm told. And I could dance half decent. But what I loved was just the joy I brought to people, and that the musical brought to people. And the next thing I'm finding the fact that anything that kind of put a microphone in my hand or allowed me to inspire, edutain, as I call it, edutain other people, serve other people, inspire them, motivate them, is what I love to do. And so I used that information about 12 years ago to say, okay, so then what do I want my business to look like apart from consulting and coaching? So, just activate anything and everything you already have, and kind of put on the back burner for now, thinking that you have to start something new or recreate the wheel, or, just do something that somebody else is doing just because it might be trendy or popular right now. Ensure that you're very focused on what it is that you need to be doing right now. All right. Because getting on the court, very much like I said, like pickleball from the beginning, is, if you're looking to become a master in anything, and yes, I'm working to become a master at pickleball because I absolutely love it. And yet at the same time, I'm considered a decent player, but I consider myself a novice because there's so much more I need to learn. And so with anything, you need to practice, you need to do drills, you need to spend time doing it. So in the case of a business owner, in all of us, we need to be spending time practicing how to present our programs and offers and products and services. We have to practice how to handle rejection, how to handle objections. We have to practice how to make that close, how to do that enrollment, how to actually, even onboard, and how to deliver what it is that we're promising that we're going to do to our customers. So activate what you have and get on the court by just becoming a master at what it is that you're doing. And next week, when we talk about stack it to generate money, we're going to talk about really also how you can leverage what you have right now and turn one simple product that you might have into a very rich, value-based, result-oriented program or offer for your customer, which will also minimize the amount of overwhelm and frustration and effort and work that you have to put in. Because like we said at the beginning, the Pareto rule is 80% of your outcomes come from 20% of your actions. So why not try to get rid of 80% of that to-do list and only focus on 20% of the must do in order for you to achieve your goals? Wouldn't that give you just such relief, breath, space, sanity, and maybe even some downtime to where you can really enjoy life? Because that's what it's all about. That's why we're doing what we're doing as business owners, is we're trying to create a life, a legacy for ourselves and for our family that we can be proud of. So those are a number of things that you could be doing to get on the court. Now, should you, like many of us, should you, just feel like as if you're going to struggle, or you currently struggle, and you feel like you're kind of alone on an island all by yourself, and you don't have the support, you don't have a sounding board, you don't have, accountability, you don't have someone to lean on, to cheer, to hold you to your, commitments, then I would love and be so honored for you to look into our Discover You immersion program. It's a 3-month one-on-one and group coaching program that includes bi-monthly one-on-ones, bi-monthly groups, so you're actually getting weekly coaching. It includes bi-monthly training that we have only for that group, special to that group, custom to that group. It includes flash coaching, where you can raise up a challenge or a question or a problem that you're having and get tips and advice and strategies in a very short period of time, so you can continue moving forward. It includes resources and workbooks and templates and anything that you need in order to kind of get on the court, as we call it. And it includes a Facebook group where you can mastermind and collaborate with other female Maverick business owners like yourself. And at the same time, it's not for everybody. So if you are in any way, shape, or form thinking, well, I'd like to learn more, I'd like to find someone like Bernadette to have in my corner to partner with, to support me, then all I'll ask you to do is schedule some time to discuss it. Schedule some time to discuss your goals, the challenges you're having, the opportunities that you have, the dreams that you have for yourself, and let's see if it's a fit. And if it's a fit, woohoo! If it's not a fit, woohoo! And you'll get tips and advice and strategies in that 30-minute conversation that you're going to be able to act on right away. But you're not going to know if it's a fit. You're not going to know if there is a support system out there that will really help you accelerate you breaking through from 5 to 6 figures, or maybe it's 6 figures to 7, unless you do some discovery yourself. So these powerhouse sessions are for you to be able to kind of get that understanding and to ask those questions and to see if it's a fit for you. So you can go to tiny.cc/powerhouse session to schedule one of those sessions with me. And I'll be honored, even if it turns out that I give you tips and advice to accelerate you forward. All right. But check it out. It is a one-of-a-kind, both one-on-one and group program that is definitely very powerful in helping business owners achieve their goals and go to the next level. All right. So next week, as I said, we will be discussing our stack it in order to generate revenue. And it's a great topic of conversation and something that you'll definitely want to join in on. So I will see you before then out on our Powerhouse Mavericks Shift to Riches Facebook page, or I'll see you next week for another episode of the Powerhouse Maverick Training. See you then. Bye.